The Tommy Schnurmacher Show on CJAD 800.
Well, whether you currently have a job or in the midst of a job hunt, whether you're trying to build a contact list or want to help others build theirs, an important component in the business world is the art of networking. And it is an art, after all, with very definitive do's and don'ts. And according to the experts, the trick to getting it right is to network with a purpose. But what does this mean exactly? And how should someone go about it? For this, we turn today to an expert on the subject of networking. We bring in Harvey Borsuk from bizmontreal.com, who joins me now. Good morning.
Good morning, Tommy. Glad to be here.
Harvey, there are a few reasons to network. It's not always just about finding a job. Can you explain some of the other reasons we should all be doing this? We should all be networking.
Well, first of all, you have a goal in networking, and I would say the primary goal is to build up a lot of social contacts.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, meeting as many people as you can for whatever reason. It could be just a schmooze. It could be to develop suppliers, resources, people who can help you. But basically to develop a list, you might say, of names and people. But it's all about relationships. When I first started about 20 years ago, I knew 300 people. I made a list of those 300 people, and now my list is up to 4,000, which I have in my BlackBerry, actually. So, and then we use this group of people to help you in all kinds of ways, and it's amazing how it helps.
So if you need anything, what would you do? You'd look up you'd know somebody to call, right? Or
people are calling me all the time. They say, Harvey, do you know somebody who does this, does that, does the other thing? And yes, I always do. Whether it's somebody first choice, somebody who belongs to the group, second choice is somebody who doesn't, but in that list.
Now, there are networking events that you can attend based on certain industries. What's the best way to prepare before you get to one of these events? What should you do before you get there?
First is to think about what are you going to say when you meet somebody. Are you going to say that I do everything? Are you going to say, what are you looking for? So you have to really prepare a 30 to 45 second, maybe even 20 seconds. What can you say in 20 seconds that is going to leave an impression with people when they leave the room? So you have to
give me an example of what people have said that in 20 seconds like that really worked in different fields.
Well, for example, I would say I'm in the barcoding business, right? So I say Harvey Barcode Borsuk. Right away I have a barcode thing that they remember. They don't remember my name, but remember I'm in the barcode business, right? Harvey
Right.
Barcode Business. We help people keep track of inventory. We help our people read between the lines, actually, and develop a system to make their bottom line, improve their bottom line.
So basically, you've got to summarize in 20 seconds
Right.
what it is that you do.
Exactly.
All right. And give me some of the success stories you've had of people who've come to a networking event like that and gotten some good business out of it.
Well, it's really a time thing. People think they can go to a group and all of a sudden walk out with business. They just have to be lucky and like getting hit by lightning.
Right. That's not going to happen. You're not
That's not
going to
happen. So it's
yeah.
relationships. I'll give you an example. When I started myself, I had a job my whole life. Actually worked at Dawson College, really, and was involved with the Mother House project. When it was over, that was it. They didn't need me anymore. I'm on my own. What do I do? I try to look for a job. It gets to a point, very hard to find a job, even though with my vast experience, etc. So I said, I got to join some kind of a group. And so at that time, I looked around. I was lucky enough to join up with used to be the Montreal Executive Association way back. And from there, things led to the other, but it takes time. You kind of, it took me 3 years before I got any business. So you have to have patience. You got to hang in there, and you have to be regular. You got to be consistent. People have to perceive you as doing something. You have to
If you do it regularly, if you show up regularly, they get to know you. They really get to know you.
So, for example, even at a general event, you get up and you introduce yourself. You have 30, 45 seconds to say something. You're talking to 30 or 40 or whatever of your best salespeople. These are the people that are going to market you. People also get the impression that when you go to an event, these are the people you're going to do the business with, but it may not be. So
it may be the people they know?
Exactly. For example, let's say I have 4,000. Say people have 500 people in their contact list. You have 30 people attending 40 an event. So if you take 40 times 30, you get like 12,000 or 500 or whatever. You have 15, 20,000 potential contacts. That's what you have to get. And people aren't going to give you their contacts until such time as they get to know you and you build up a trust relationship with them.
What would you say, Harvey, to this texter? I guess it's Harvey Borsuk from bizmontreal.com. If you have any questions, we're talking about talking about networking. Your business card says where business is a contact sport, getting as many contacts. I get it. This text, Harvey says, this networking stuff is just a money grab. Joined a BNI group, cost me $1,500 for a year, barely made back that money. What would you say to that texter?
There are different ways of there are different groups for different kind of people. There are people who expect to go in and walk out with business quickly. There are others who know it's developing relationships with people. So it takes time to develop those relationships. And not everybody fits into every group. I mean, there's a group for everybody. The early morning group, like BNI, they have ways that they operate in a certain way for a certain type of group of people, and other groups operate differently. So it depends. Sometimes that particular group may not be for this individual. So that you have to find a group where you feel comfortable. I know.
Well, is he being impatient? I mean, he's been there for 1 year, $1,500, made that money back. Could his business increase maybe the year after?
Well, you never
later?
know. It depends on how are you not using. I don't mean it in that sense of the word, but how are you really using the people that you're meeting? Are you trying to make a direct sale? Sometimes it depends on the product that you have. It just doesn't go over big. And sometimes it depends on the person. It depends on both the product and the person that you're trying to do. I think you have to be patient, but at the same time, marketing and sort of networking is you have to build a portfolio of your marketing tools. You can't just say I have a portfolio, or people have a portfolio of 20 stocks. You don't know which ones are going to do well and which ones are not. But you get same thing when you're trying to network and when you're trying to market your business or your person. You want to have a portfolio of different networking kind of events, etc., that you partake in.
Give me an example of what you'd include in this portfolio.
Well, you may have, for example, you got the Chambers of Commerce, which is very interesting. So there's the West Island Chamber of Commerce, Chamber of Commerce of St. Laurent, Chamber of Commerce of Montreal. So that's one type of those are one kind of a group where you have.
So you suggest taking part, going?
I mean, that's one of them. But the thing is, with those groups, that you got 3,000 or 4,000 members, or 5,000 or 10,000 members.
Well, are you suggesting joining several of these groups?
Yeah, exactly. I would say that at the beginning, when you're starting off, you might join a few of them. It's an investment, Tommy. It's not something that you just say, well, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to walk out with cards, and you're going to go to click business cards and spam everybody with emails. I mean, that's not
going to work. Okay.
I say you put your cards on the table and let's talk.
Okay, all right. Very good. But don't bang on the table. You can put your cards on the table, but don't bang on the table. We're going to find out what are some of the big mistakes people make with marketing. We'll continue our discussion. My guest, Harvey Borsuk from bizmontreal.com. If you have any questions on networking, how it's worked for you or not worked for you, you can join the conversation by all means, 514-790-0800, or you can text your question or your comments to 514-800. It is 11:45.
The Tommy Schnurmacher Show on CJAD 800.
The importance of networking. Our guest is Harvey Borsuk from bizmontreal.com, who joins me now. This texter is saying it sounds very Amway. Amway is a specific kind of network, isn't it? It's a multi-level marketing.
It's a multi-level marketing. It's a business.
Right.
Networking is not a business. It's a marketing tool for your business.
Right.
Whereas Amway and those kinds of products, the multi-level marketing is a business in itself. So it's the difference between business networking and multi-level marketing or multi-level marketing networking.
Now, what are some of the things that people do wrong when it comes to networking? What's the wrong way to do it?
They
we'll avoid that.
They just talk too much. People have to realize that you should be listening 80% of the time and talking 20% of the time. And what happens is the reverse. People try to impress the people who they're speaking with, to try to let them know how great they are and what they do and all that kind of stuff. But what you should be doing is listening for 20%, listen for 80%. You're going to pick up something which is going to say, now is the time when I can say what I have to say. So
there might be something about the other person is saying.
You got to keep them talking and see in the end, how in the end are you going to be able to help them? Or you pick up something that might give them, you know these people, maybe you can help me that way. But let them talk. People, how do people get jobs? They let the interviewer talk 80% of the time. And you just tone it down a little bit and listen. And so listening, I think that's the thing. The other thing is standing too close to somebody when you're speaking. If you're standing like 2 feet away.
Yes, okay. That's very, very
you
good.
know, you're right in their face. You know what I mean? And take it easy. Be sort of more relaxed. Don't be aggressive.
Did you know this right away? It took you a while to figure this out.
It's funny. I went to school for 11 years in university. You don't learn this. You just have to learn by yourself. When you have a job, people are running to you. They
Right.
need your business. When you're running big projects and they're coming over, and then when you're on your own, they don't know you anymore, right? You have no power. They don't know you. So what are you going to do? You're going to you have to learn some of these talents and stuff to. But it works. It just works. But it takes time. You have to have patience.
And do you find that the people who don't have patience, in other words, they haven't increased their business in after two meetings, they quit? They're really cutting themselves short. They may make valuable contacts. That you need business not only today, you need it next year and the year after that.
I think the mistake that people make is that they look at the people in the room and say, none of these guys are going to give me any business. So, this group is not for me. Well, what happens? One of our members mentioned that this guy has his contractors and all that. He's never going to give me any business, and he's been a member 5 years, and forget it, it's never going to happen. Anyway, he got a $200,000 contract from this person because he had the patience. He hung in there and knows that works. So you never really know. The value of the business can be from like zero to you never know, large amounts. So that's the way it works. It's the patience that really does it.
Is it okay to ask people to introduce you to people you would like to know?
I think we have a list of questions that you ask people to mention when they get up and introduce themselves. And one of them is, do you know anybody in certain company that I can contact that you can recommend for me? So which means that not only are you looking for business, you know anybody that needs, I don't know, a barcode system or whatever, but you know anybody in Costco, for example. Who knows anybody in Costco or Walmart or someplace that can help you? So you ask for like a reverse lead, you might call that. So you try to get people to think of you that way. Oh, yes, I can help you or whatever. And that's the way it works.
Also, would it be correct that if people are asking you something and you can give them something, you can help them? Yes, you should go speak to so-and-so or speak to that guy. That'll be paid back late, not that day, but later or soon.
The way it works in a group is that if I give you business, you may not give me business. It's a family you're building here. So really what you want to do is that other people will end up giving you business.
Right.
It's not a tit for tat. It's sort of like the whole family works together. And although I might give you business, you have never a need for my service, but somebody else in the group will come up with something. So it's sort of a family affair.
More interesting texts coming in. Join the conversation. Send your text to 514-800. Another person talking about BNI saying, BNI been there, no results. Internet marketing is the way to go. We'll find out what our guest has to say about that. That's next. You're listening to the Tommy Schnurmacher Show on CJAD. Stay with us.
You're listening to the voice of Montreal. News Talk Radio. CJAD 800, a division of Bell Media. The Tommy Schnurmacher Show on CJAD 800.
The importance of networking. Harvey Borsuk, my guest. This texter, Harvey, says, BNI been there, done that, no results. Internet marketing is the way to go. What do you feel about internet marketing?
There's no question. Remember I said earlier that we should be having a portfolio of marketing tools. Internet marketing is one of those tools. But you have to realize that although social network is becoming even more popular, that's not sort of our approach to doing this. We're concerned about meeting live and in person with people who really care. Do you know that only 7% of communication is really verbal? So that if you send a text, only 7% of your real goal is being achieved.
Okay, when you attend one of these meetings, is it, and you see a few of your friends there, is it a good idea to sit with your friends?
Absolutely not. I mean, you sit with your friends when you're not there. Why?
Uh-huh.
So sometimes two people from the same company show up at an event, and they're sitting together. I mean, you're not multiplying your opportunities. So what you want to do is be away from the people that you normally deal with in the people, because you already have a contact with them. You want to develop relationships with others.
And you can start the conversation at the table.
Exactly.
All right. And where can people get more information? Biz Montreal, it's info@bizmontreal.com.
.com, or just go on to bizmtl.com and you will find
right,
emails and contacts.
All right, bizmontreal.com, bizmtl.com. Thank you so much for joining us, Harvey Borsuk. And don't forget, coming up tomorrow, we've got all kinds of excitement for you about how to save money at tax time. And we'll find out what on earth is a death cafe. We'll find that out. That's coming up tomorrow on the Tommy Schnurmacher Show. If you have something on your mind you feel that we should be covering, love to hear from you. Our inbox